So I think when you asked me, I was trying to think like, oh gosh, like what can I bring? Like what, like, what does God want to say through me? What does God want to do through me? And I think one thing that I've um learned and been really encouraged by in life is just literally listening to other people's stories. And I think
Mm,
the power of people's stories when they get into the nitty gritty and they talk about the stuff that, may be considered taboo is so impactful, probably more than the person who's sharing the story actually realizes.
mm,
And there have been many times like in my life where like I've shared something, just kind of been like, oh well, this is the topic of conversation. I've gone through something similar. Let me just talk about it. And then like weeks, months, years down the line, people like that actually really encouraged me and really spoke to me because I was going through the exact same thing. And that's happened to me as well, vice versa. I remember this past year my church put on like a youth conference, and one of the people who was speaking, she's called Catherine Shan. She's incredible. I would go check her out. She was basically just like trying to encourage young people, being like, "Hey, listen, sometimes we go through things and sometimes we maybe tend to do some stuff." And she basically shared her story and how she struggled with pornography. And it was like the first time I've ever heard like a female pastor go up on stage so openly and publicly and speak about that. I remember just thinking, being like, I wish I heard this when I was 13 because I was struggling with the exact same thing and I feel like I had no one to talk to. And I remember getting so much like, it literally like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders when I heard her say that, even though like I've prayed about my own struggles. I've gone through it all and everything. And I was just like, that, I know that's encouraged me, and I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt and everything. I can only imagine how many young people and even young girls that's going to encourage, because she's got up there so open and so willing to be like, hey, listen, I've gone through this, I'm sharing this to help other people. And I just think like the power of people's stories is just more impactful than we realize, and more impactful than we sometimes even think, because to us it's just like, oh, this is just what I've been through, like, it is what it is.
yeah.
To somebody else it's like, that thing that you've been through is just what I needed to hear to help me go through what
Mm,
I've been through.
mm,
I think, piggybacking off of that as well, I think a lot of people will be like, oh well, because I've done this or I've experienced this, it means like God can't use me. And all the things that I've held deep into, like all the dreams and the prayers and everything that I've hoped for my life, God's forgotten about it because I've done X, Y, and Z. But like something that was revealed to me in August. So I turned 25, and I remember before I turned 25 being like really excited, being like, oh, 25 is going to be a really good year and all of this. And I happened to go on a songwriting retreat with my church. We were writing songs. So I literally turned 25, like surrounded by some of my best friends writing songs about Jesus. And it was such like a God aligning moment for me, because I remember when I was like 12 being in my room being like, oh, I just want to like write music and I want to write songs and I want to do all of this. But then like I went through it as a teenager, like we're talking like, struggling with like pornography, struggling with depression, anxiety, and everything. I remember getting to like 20 and like all those dreams and passions I still had, but I was like, it's never going to happen because God's not going to use me for that, because I've done all of this stuff in the past and I'm going through all of this. So the fact that like I remember writing like a letter, I can't remember how old I was, but I literally found it like 2 weeks before I went on the songwriting retreat, and like it was such like a whoa, like honestly, when people say that, like, like, won't he do it? Like, literally, won't he do it? Like, I'd written that when I was like 16, 17, whatever, being like, I just want to write music for Jesus. I just want to do this, just want to do that. And I was like, it's never going to happen. And here I am now at 25 on a songwriting retreat, writing songs about Jesus on my birthday. And I was just like the way that God fits the promises he has into your life. You may think it may happen one way, but I never would have ever expected that on, on my birthday. That's how I'd be celebrating my birthday. And it was
mm.
just such like I don't think I'll ever be able to put into words, because it was just so like God aligning for me, being like, okay, this is actually what I'm meant to be doing. And not only have you proven that by me being on here, but you've shown me in such like a magical way that I can't deny that this is what you've called me to do.